The greatest gift. When I was a young child, my mother gave me the greatest gift that a parent can give a child, one that has far reaching effects. I could say almost anything except I can't. This simple little phrase was not allowed in our home. With these words removed, all things become possible. Not necessarily easy, but possible. This little phrase is a self limiting obstacle to any child and is readily carried into adulthood. Mother taught me many things, but this is by far the most important. It helps shape my perspective still today, helps me mold all the possibilities.
Hello. I want to talk about perception and how it touches every aspect of our lives. Welcome to Tobai. Your thoughts and perceptions are everything. They touch every aspect of your life. They touch your physical existence, your mental existence, and they also affect your spiritual. Perception is how we perceive the world and relate to it. You can be very positive, and you can go to the other extreme and you can be very negative. And this affects how we view the world and how we live in the world around us. And you can be a very positive person and still have a shitty day. This is life. Life is messy. It has always been messy, and it always will be. But I guarantee you, if you have a shitty outlook and a really down attitude about everything, a defeatist attitude, then you will always be defeated. You will never complete anything. I know many people that just everything in the world goes wrong for them. And those of you that are on this path, if you haven't figured out, you create your world. And it's all due to our thoughts and our perceptions, how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves. There's not one aspect of our life that is not controlled by our perceptions. And there's hundreds of analogies for it. The age-old one is the glass. Is it half full or half empty? A negative person would tell you that it is half empty, and a positive person would tell you that it is half full. And how you see it is entirely up to you. I'll tell you this, the glass is never empty. It may not have what we desire in it, but it'll always have something in it. The wine may be gone. It could have Kool-Aid or tea or water. It may not have anything. It may just contain air. And it may not be what we want, but it's always going to have something in it. And how we perceive and deal with it is up to us. We can do it in a positive light, or we can do it in a negative light. Another analogy that I use and this is probably my favorite. Say you've got a bill it's due in the morning, and it's $100, and you haven't got a damn clue how you're going to come up with it. And we're both walking down the street, and unbeknownst to me, I drop $100 bill. And you find it. Well, your prayers have been answered. This is the greatest thing ever. You are thankful. I mean, life is awesome. But most people would find that, oh shit, I've lost $100 bill. It's the end of the world. The world is out to get me. Life sucks. And for me, well, how how it is for me today is not how it's always been for me. Many years ago, if I had lost any money at all, I viewed it as damn near end of the world, apocalyptical. It sucked. And today, it might challenge and change what I'm fixing to do or what I'm in the middle of doing. But I try to look at it with a little bit more positive spin and hope that whoever found it, I hope that they truly needed it and it helps them in some way. That doesn't change the fact that I lost the money, but it changes the way I feel about it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't eat away at me. It doesn't gnaw at me. I don't come home and take it out on the dog. It is simply what it is. Being positive is not always easy to do. It is a learned trait. And yes, you can learn it. I was very, very fortunate. My parents gave me the greatest gift I have ever received in my life. I was not allowed to say the words, "I can't." My mother would just come unglued when I said this. So it got to be something that wasn't in my vocabulary. And I was always taught from my parents, my grandparents, that all things are possible. Anything can be done. It may not be easy. It may require a lot of work. Hell, it may require a lot of sacrifices on your part. But if you're willing to give it what it needs and what it takes, then you can obtain this. Several years ago, I was very, very fortunate. I got to teach a group of high school students. And I was supposed to be teaching them auto mechanics, and we did go over this, but that's not what I hope they took out of this. I mean, sure, I hope they learned a little bit about it, but what I hope they learned, if I taught them anything, is the fact that they needed to remove the words "I can't" from their vocabulary, reprogram their thought structure, and to understand that all things are possible if you're willing to work and sacrifice to do it. And like I said, if they took one thing, if I was able to teach them just one thing, it would be that all things are possible, and that I can't does not exist in their vocabulary. Good and bad, they're the same thing. They're just different degrees on the same scale of being. On one hand, you've got the good. Over here, to this far end, you've got the bad. And you've got all the infinite degrees between. How we perceive things determines where we're at on this polarity. And it is very powerful, and it can do great things for us, or it can continually put roadblocks and obstacles in our life and just, give us grief. And the fact is like so many other things, that you're in control of this. It may not seem like it, but you're the only person that has complete 100% control of how you perceive a situation and how you perceive life. Though the people that know me, I don't usually mix words. I just state things the way I feel or the way I view things. And I'm not going to do this any exception. I really, really wished I could remember where I read this or heard this at, but it stuck with me a long time ago. And it was talking about all the depressed people in our great country. And what it said was that there are, people that are depressed. And I believe this. I mean, there are people that are truly have a mental imbalance. Okay, I'm not referring to these people. I'm referring to the ones that they're having, everything goes wrong for them. They're constantly down and out. Nothing goes their way. They just cannot get a break. And they're labeled as being depressed. And what this article that I'm referring to basically says is maybe they're not depressed. They just got a shitty life. And I think this is true for a lot of people. And I promise you this: you can control your perception when you reprogram the way you view the world around you. Your life will change. Your physical life will improve, your mental life will improve, and your spiritual side will come alive. Going at this and looking at the magical side of it, perception and the way we view things, and this goes for prayer also, will be the determining factor on how things work out for us. If you go into anything and you think that you can't do it, or there's the slightest doubt that it's going to work, then there's a good probability that it's not going to work. It's not going to give you what you want, need, or what you have worked so hard to obtain. And if you go at it from a positive spin and you understand that you can do anything, all things are possible, and that you've got the attitude that this will work, the odds of it working are a lot greater. And when things don't exactly work out, there's lots of reasons for it. If you take a defeatist attitude on it, then you're always going to get your ass defeated. And if you take a positive approach to it, and I cannot reiterate this enough, it affects your mental, your spiritual, and your physical side. I challenge you to stay on this path. You will learn shit about yourself that you never dreamed or had no idea of. In my personal journey, I try to apply a balanced approach to the way that I look at things. And that is, I do see that the glass is half empty. I also see that it is half full. But I also know that the glass is never empty. And I try to apply this same approach to every aspect of my life. And I found that my world has changed. I've always had a great life. There's times that if you'd asked me, I would have told you it was the shittiest thing ever, but looking back at it, I've always had a blessed life. And I can say that because it's my perception of it. If you're interested and like what you see, would like to see more of it, hit the like button, subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. I will get back to your comments just as soon as possible. Until then, have a safe journey. Thank you.